episode 63 of FountainCast, a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, striving to be your one-stop fountain of information regarding your local business community here in Fountain Hills. I'm your host, Jill Haislip. Be sure to stay tuned after the podcast to hear about upcoming Chamber events. In today's episode, I'm speaking with the Chamber of Commerce's newest addition to events and marketing, Hannah Toth. Hannah is a lifelong resident of Fountain Hills and owns her own event management company, Unforgettable Outcomes. She earned 2 bachelor's degrees in sports business and business law with a certificate in data analytics from Arizona State University in December of 2020. She is also a newly elected Fountain Hills Town Council member. Welcome, Hannah, to the show.
Thank you so much, Jill. I'm excited to be here and very excited to be new to the Chamber staff.
Well, we are excited to have you. So first and foremost, welcome to the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce. I know that you were a previous member with your business, but welcome to the staff side of things.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about, first, what brought your business to the Chamber of Commerce, and then we'll talk about your role here.
I was a brand new business that was only partially new. I did start what used to be Athlete Story right before COVID hit in 2020. And that was going to be a sports events business.
Okay.
Which means no sports, no events during COVID.
Sure.
So once I felt I was ready to get back into running my own business and leaving the tech space that I was in for a little bit to make ends meet, I realized I needed somebody who's going to help me out because I need to make sure I have this established in case something like COVID happens again.
Absolutely, that's smart.
I had spoken to Betsy actually because I was running for office, but I started thinking about, okay, this is what they offer for a business. We can help with marketing, we help with tips on how you're running your business, networking with other business owners and understanding what they've learned through their time. And I just realized that that was the best decision for me to make sure I had a stronger foundation before I went into running my own business again.
Okay, makes sense. Well, that's great. And then look at where it's brought you now.
Yes.
Fast forward. So tell us, what are you most excited about with your new role here as the Events and Marketing Manager?
I am so excited for the role as a whole.
Okay.
But specifically, I grew up going to our Fountain Festival, our Art Festival, and every other name that it's gone under. I went every single year as a little kid, and I watched this event grow and how we have adjusted it, and it's been so incredible. So I'm just very excited to be behind the scenes for that huge event we do twice a year.
Yes.
It's kind of our claim to fame for the rest of the valley, so I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Well, good. I know that you're going to make a great impact here at the Chamber of Commerce with our events. What would you say is your favorite part of the job, obviously besides being able to kind of be on the behind the scenes of the Fountain Festivals? What else are you super excited for?
I love events because I love putting smiles on faces. Events is the one job that is instant gratification because you put in all this hard work and all this planning and you can visualize it and think of what it's going to come out as, but then you get to see it and you see everyone enjoying the event and people bringing their kids and everything, and I love planning events, so it's a passion of mine.
Good. Well, I think that's going to work out wonderfully then.
Thank
you. You had touched on the fact that you were doing sports before. You went to school for sports business and business law. So tell us a little bit about how did that then turn into events? How does that all play together?
It was like a lot of things when you're young. It was kind of an accident. I wanted to be in sports business and business law because I wanted to be an NFL agent.
Okay.
More than anything in the world. I wanted to be writing the contracts and making the deals for the NFL players, and so I thought the best way to build that network is through volunteering at events. That's where you meet the managers, the coaches, the athletes, their moms, everything. And so that's why I got involved in events in the first place, was kind of that selfish reason of this will help me get into the agency world. But I ended up really falling in love with it, and I just had a moment where I sat down with myself and I thought, okay, I can write contracts, or I can plan axe throwing competitions and golf tournaments and everything else. And I was just having so much fun that that's ended up being what I stuck with. But I kept my degrees because I think that's important, and it does give me a different lens where I'm able to be an event planner that still has that business lens, and I think that melds really well with now being part of marketing as well with the chamber.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. It's funny sometimes how things kind of work out not as you had really seen your vision of where your life was going.
Yes.
Obviously, I would assume a huge sports fan if you went to school for that. So tell us, what sports did you play when you were in school, and what is your favorite sport?
Well, I like to joke that because I'm an only child and my dad wanted a boy, I'm a huge sports fan. I grew up watching football, baseball, everything. I played softball, and then in college, I wasn't playing on the college team due to injuries and those kind of things that happen. And I ended up going on every single intramural team they would let me in on.
Oh.
I was on sand volleyball, dodgeball, indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, regular volleyball, basketball, softball, anything.
Wow.
And it was so much fun, and playing sports for fun for once was just such a joyful experience, and I still really enjoy it. I still play softball every Friday.
Okay.
And I love sports. I just love that it teaches you so much about life from the beginning. You have to learn from failure. You have to learn that you have to put a lot of hard work in order to be good. And it's something that I just find really valuable. There's a mindset, a mentality among athletes that's just different, and I really, really appreciate it.
Wow, you've learned a lot from that. I think that, some people just go out there and this is a sport and we play and then we go home, but you really took it and applied it to life. I think that's wonderful.
That's true. Thank you. I am very philosophical. Maybe that's what ended up putting me in politics. I think of everything through the grand scheme of things type lens, and it's kind of funny, but yeah.
Well, let me ask on a personal note, how about pickleball? Do you play that? I've heard it's the new thing.
I have played it. I am very bad, but I have played it just
okay, just wondering. That seems to be the new hot thing, so I wasn't sure about that. Tell us a little bit more about what types of things do you like to do when you are not at work doing a multitude of different businesses, it sounds like. What do you do for fun besides sports?
Besides sports, I really enjoy reading. I started out reading more fiction, and now I've moved into a lot of nonfiction or even classical fiction, which I kind of lump in that smart person category. I wasn't quite reading in before. And right now I'm rereading. I've made a project for myself. I'm rereading the books that I didn't pay that much attention to in high school.
Okay.
I think we all can have that honest moment and admit to ourselves that maybe we didn't pay that much attention to this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so 1984.
What a great book.
It is such a great book. And reading it on my own for fun, I've realized I've absorbed so much. I've learned so much more from it. It's something about when you're a teenager and you're told to read it that you don't really get that same feeling from the book. And so I've started to gain a lot more appreciation for classical fiction. And so that's where I've kind of delved off into.
Well, and I think it's good because as you age, you look at things a little differently as life experiences have come. So you definitely have a different appreciation for maybe the story behind the story, because there's always that underlying something, right?
Absolutely. And I just have really enjoyed it. And then I have a friend who really loves reading Russian literature. And I was fascinated by that. She's actually reading it in Russian. So I spoke to her, and she's given a couple recommendations for books. I don't think I'm quite there yet.
Well,
but we'll see. It's on the list. I'll keep you updated.
Okay, good. You are also very busy with nonprofits here in town. You are a member of the Four Peaks Rotary Club, Elks Lodge, and the American Legion Auxiliary. that's a lot to be doing.
Yes.
I know that people here in Fountain Hills, which we absolutely love, are all about giving back and being involved in the nonprofits. You're very young for your age. So what inspired you to be so involved and help with all of these nonprofits? I think it's wonderful, but I would say that there's a lot of people your age that are not doing those types of things.
Right. I think part of it is that I grew up in Fountain Hills and we have that really strong sense of community. Everybody's involved in something in Fountain Hills,
Yes.
and I love that. And I think just being raised by that community, that instilled in me an appreciation for being involved and finding something you're passionate about and being part of a club and everything. But really what it was when I was in college, I realized I had so much that I wanted to do and I wanted to help out on, that I ended up joining all these clubs and holding all these positions and just keeping myself so busy. So that then once COVID hit, I kind of thought, what am I supposed to do with all this time? I can't just sit at home. You end up very cabin fever-ish.
Sure.
And so once we were out and able to do things again, I just found anything to get involved in. And I did at first bite off maybe a little more than I used to.
Sure.
We've cut it down since, and
Okay.
I just felt it was important because it's my hometown and we have this community appeal, and this is how you keep that energy, with how we keep that community feeling going, is the younger generation needs to get involved, and if we want that to happen, somebody's got to set the example. So
absolutely.
I jumped in early, but it was something that felt really important to me.
And I appreciate that you touched on the younger generation, because Fountain Hills is known as a older community with older residents. I think that is changing a little bit. I think that more younger families are moving in. You went to school at ASU, correct?
Yes.
And you chose to come back to Fountain Hills rather than staying in the valley or maybe going somewhere else in the country. What made you decide Fountain Hills is truly home, I want to be here?
Well, Fountain Hills is special. This is where my grandparents live, where my aunt and uncle live with my cousin, where my parents live, and it's home. I don't feel the same way anywhere else than I do in Fountain Hills. I feel home here.
That's great.
And that was really important to me. It's something I really realized for living in Tempe during the school year, where I thought it wasn't necessarily a homesick feeling, and that when I was in Tempe, I'm sure I'm having an okay time, I'm studying, I'm busy, and not thinking about it too much. But then when I was home, I'd go, I'm so comfortable here.
Yeah.
I actually sleep through the night here. You know? And it's just, I don't know how to fully describe it, but Fountain Hills just holds a very special place in my heart, I think.
That's wonderful. Not everybody gets that, so I think it's good that you realize this is truly my home. Some people search everywhere for that.
It's true.
Your passion and love for Fountain Hills, not only now working with the Chamber of Commerce, all of your nonprofit work, but we do have to talk about some exciting news for you. So you are newly elected to being a council member here in town, so congratulations on that. What are you feeling with that? That's very exciting. You have a lot of new things coming your way.
Right. I am so excited and I am so humbled that the people of Fountain Hills trusted me with this super important role. And I've been absolutely overwhelmed with emotion and very excited to hopefully make a difference and help Fountain Hills be even better than it already is. I'm very excited for my new role as a council member.
Wonderful.
Thank
Well,
you.
congratulations on everything new and exciting. As far as your roles here at the Chamber of Commerce, what would some of our chamber members need to reach out to you for? What does that look like for our chamber?
Oh, absolutely. So as the events and marketing manager, you would reach out to me both for if you want to sponsor a booth at an event, be a vendor at one of our events, or also if you'd like to appear on FountainCast or Uniquely Fountain
Right here,
Hills.
you can be right here.
Yes. And any of our other offerings through the chamber, you're welcome to reach out to me with any questions. I would love to have you on for FountainCast or Uniquely Fountain Hills.
Perfect. And how will folks reach out to you in case if they don't already know how to get to the Chamber's website? How else would you prefer? Email, phone calls, text? Tell us what you'd like.
Either way, email's probably best. That would be hannah@FHChamber.com. And
go ahead and spell Hannah, because people have different ways to spell that.
That is true. HANNAH@FHChamber.com.
Don't forget that last H on there. And of course, you can find Hannah by giving the Chamber of Commerce a call, going to the Chamber's website. Hannah's in charge of all of the signature events that are coming up. So any questions you have on those, definitely reach out to her. That is what you're most excited about. So definitely see how everybody can get involved with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with our FountainCast listeners or viewers today?
Sure. Just a big thank you to our chamber members and to the people of Fountain Hills. And a reminder to, yes, reach out to me if you have any questions about our upcoming events, especially Oktoberfest, which is coming up
right around the corner.
Yes. So we are so excited to see you there and see you all dressed up in your lederhosen. Anyway, you're more than welcome to reach out to me with any questions, and thank you again.
Perfect. Well, as Hannah had mentioned, FountainCast, if you are interested on being a part of FountainCast, which Hannah is now going to be our new host, I'm excited to hand that over to Hannah. You can jump on the Chamber's website and sign up to be sitting right here and have Hannah feature you on our podcast. So thank you again for being here today.
Thank you, Jill.
That will wrap up episode 63 of FountainCast. And once again, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to share our show with friends, neighbors, clients, anyone in your network. And please be sure to like, rate, and review our show wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget about our new feature, which is you can now watch the video on the Chamber's YouTube channel. The Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce is excited to have Hannah as their new events and marketing manager. Please reach out to her for any signature events to do your very own podcast, be on Uniquely Fountain Hills, additions to the newsletter, and so much more. Now for upcoming chamber events. Oktoberfest is next weekend, September 23rd and 24th from 5 to 10 p.m. down at Fountain Park. Get your tickets online right now. You don't want to miss the fun. Brew with Betsy is on September 27th, where you can learn all about your chamber benefits. Join us for AZ Medicare Guys ribbon cutting on September 29th at 5 p.m. right here at the Chamber of Commerce. And be sure to check out the Chamber's website for more details on all of our events. For my last episode of FountainCast, I want to thank you, Fountain Hills, for continuing to be the best community. Good job. Thank you. All right. In today's episode, I'm speaking with the Chamber's new addition to events and marketing, Hannah Toth. Hannah is a lifelong resident of Fountain Hills. I said your last name wrong. It's okay. As soon as I said it, I'm like, that is wrong. Betsy, don't use this. Hannah Toth. Why did I do that?
That's okay, everyone.
You should have kicked me. Let's try that again.
Okay.
Okay.